In this video, we review the Pine Center ATV trail system here in Minnesota. Coming up. Welcome to this trail review. My name is Chris with MidwestATVTrails.com, where we help you explore the unpaved by bringing trail reviews, gear reviews, and other ATV related news. And today we are going to take a look at the Pine Center, Minnesota ATV trail system. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so starting off, as you can see, this is one of the trailheads. On our website, we listed this as Trailhead 1. If you go to MidwestATVTrails.com or even just click the link below, I'll put a direct link. You can navigate to more information that we've provided on this trail system. And in that is a spot where you can just click the trailhead and it will open up Google Maps and show you exactly where this is. I don't really recommend using the trailhead information provided on the DNR's website for Minnesota. When we went to this trail, it brought us to a trailhead that no matter if we wanted to take the north or the south loop, we still had to take the shoulder for quite some time. There's two other trailheads listed, and those are, again, on the website, which you can check out, which will start you on the trail right away. So you're not stuck riding on the shoulders for long periods of time just to get to either one. Alright, so as we start off here, we shot down the south loop. As you can tell, it immediately begins in the woods. Now, it was a great day. As you can see, the sun was shining. It was a good temperature. So overall, this definitely made for a fun ride. We gave this trail a difficulty rating of 2 stars. So what that means, we do 2 to 5 stars, is it's really not that difficult. The nice thing is this trail does have a couple areas that are a little more technical. However, you have the option to take them or not to take them. And better yet, you can take half of your crew down one and half on the other, and it will actually end up at the same spot a mile or two down the road. So if you have some people that like it a little more difficult and some that like it a little easier, everybody can still get out and have a good time. Overall, there's about 20 miles of designated trail on this trail system. And the nice thing is it does connect with trails in Brainerd and the Camp Ripley Connection. So if 20 miles isn't enough and you want to keep going, you can hit those connections to get to those other trail systems. We're going to continue to go here. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up and get to right about here. Okay, so the technical areas I mentioned earlier, this is one of them. You can go right or left. So we're going to start off by going right. Now, as you can tell from the previous section of trail we're on, this is definitely tighter. As you can see, I'm having to move some of the branches out of the way. We're moving a little bit slower. Again, the trail isn't hard in the sense that you have to worry about tipping your ATV or getting stuck here, but it is definitely a tighter section of trail. It's rated for Class 1 and Class 2. However, I honestly don't know how you're going to get a Class 2 down here without really rubbing against some trees. We'll switch views here in a second, and you can see we have a razor that we took on this trail, which is a Class 1 razor, and it barely fits. So if you're talking about bringing a Maverick or something through here, I'm not sure how you're going to make it fit without scraping up against some trees. Not to say you're not going to make it fit, but you might scratch some panels while you're doing it. Again, as you can see, it gets real tight. We'll go ahead and speed through this a little bit too so I can show you what we mean about the razor. Okay, so we went ahead and swapped views. I let a few vehicles get in front so you can see. Now, for example, that's a 90cc that you're looking at. That is a small ATV, and it's still tight for him. Now, if you look past him, you can see that razor. And again, that's a Class 1 razor, so that's the 50-inch wheelbase. And as you can see, that's a tight fit as that kind of goes through there. There are spots it opens up a little more, but again, there are spots where it's definitely a tight fit. Okay, so we made it through that. However, since this was for a trail review, we went back through so we could get to that area where we took that left or that right, so we can show you the other side of the trail. Now, this side of the trail is a lot more laid back. As you can see, it's more open. Now, this is nice here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pause here real quick so you can get a look at this. So this area is a nice shaded area if you want to hang out and have some lunch. There's a bathroom there if you need to use it. The only downer is it's only about a mile or two into the south loop. So if you start at the south trailhead and you're thinking, oh, I need to stop and get some lunch, you're really not that far in yet. However, if you go to the north loop, which we'll show you that trailhead here in a minute, and then you ride to this area, that's going to take you a while to get there. So it'd be a great spot to eat, grab some food, relax, whatever it is you want to do. All right, continuing on. So again, we're still going down the south loop. We took the trail to the left side. So this is a lot of what the trail is going to look like on the south loop. Okay, so we'll go ahead and speed through this a little bit. Okay, and we're going to stop right here. So remember that area where we went to the right where it was a little more technical, narrow, hilly, all that? This is where that meets up. So if you were in that area, this is where it would come out. If half your riding crew wants to go right and half your riding crew wants to go left, no big deal. You're still gonna meet up in the same exact spot. I wanna say about 2 to 3 miles down the trail or so. All right, continuing on. So again, still going down the south loop. As we navigate through the woods here, I did want to mention really quick, I'm curious as we do these trail reviews if we're providing too much trail footage or not enough. So please leave a comment down below and let us know what you think. If it's too much, we can just cut some of it out, and if it's not enough, we can definitely add some more in there. I'm always looking to make these videos better, so if there's not enough information or too much information, or there's a specific piece of information that you think is missing from these, please let me know in the comments below. All right, we're gonna go ahead and keep speeding through this here. Okay, so as we come up to this stop sign, you can go right or left, but you actually need to go left to stay on the trail. And once you make that left, you'll make an immediate another right. Basically, you're kind of crossing over the road, but in a diagonal manner. So again, we'll continue down this trail. It's going to continue to look a lot like this. We'll go ahead and keep speeding up through some of this. Okay, now as we come up on this intersection, again, you can go right or left. If you go right, it's going to eventually meet up with another trail system, not in Pine Center, so you're going to take it for a while. Now, if you go left, you'll actually stay on the Pine Center Trail, and since that's what we're trying to do, we're going to go ahead and take a left. All right, we're going to go ahead and speed through this pretty quick. In my personal opinion, this was the least fun part of the trail. It's a nice change of pace, and you do get to pick up some extra speed, which is definitely nice. But it just goes on a little too long until you actually get back to the ATV trail. The other downer is you have to cross a busy intersection here. So as we come up on that, we cross it, and then you end up taking the road / shoulder to the right, and you end up on this trail. So this, you're going to basically ditch bang for a few miles here, and then you're going to end up meeting up with the north loop very soon. So we'll speed through that. All right. Now, this spot, I'm going to pause it right here real quick. You're fine if you watch out for signs, but definitely pay attention to the signs, because if you're not really paying that close and you're kind of just speeding through, you'll miss the whole north loop from here. You will notice that the entrance to the trail is about half a mile to a mile down on the left-hand side. All right, and there we are. So we are now on the North Loop Trail, the Pine Center ATV trail system. As you continue down this trail, right after you kind of get through the wood lines, so you can see you can go right or left. We took it to the right, and then we came out on the left side. So as we take this trail, it's a lot like it was in the South Loop. It's definitely more windy though, so it's a nice windy trail through the woods. There's more intersections and all that where you can go left or right and kind of get lost in there a little bit. You're always going to end up in really one or two spots, and you're always going to end up coming out of the trail on either the ATV trailhead on the North Loop or on that road that we came in on. So we'll go ahead and speed through this a little bit. Again, a lot of the environment here is the same as you go down the trail. Definitely a good ride though. It's a lot of fun. And we're going to go ahead and slow it down. Okay, so this is the second ATV trailhead. We listed this as the North Loop ATV trailhead. Now, as you can see, as we kind of pan around, there's not a whole lot of parking, but between this and the South Loop, I don't really see too many cases where these parking lots are both going to be full. This is a nice trailhead, but it's not really, generally speaking, overpopulated. So one thing to note is there wasn't a bathroom at the South trailhead, but there is at the North trailhead. Now, as you get down the South trail, there was one about 2 miles down when we showed that picnic table in that resting area, but there's not one at the actual trailhead. So if you think you're going to need the bathroom right away before you get started, probably start on the North Loop. All right, we're going to go ahead and hit back in the North Loop, and as we go through, we're going to keep taking all the turns to the right, because that will keep us going, because that will keep us coming out on the other side of this North Loop trail. Now, one awesome thing about the North Loop Trail is there's another technical area. It's a mud run. So if you like getting wet, definitely check that out. And again, as with the other one, if you don't want to, that's fine too. Half your crew can go to the right, half your crew can go to the left. Skip it all together. You're both going to end up in the exact same place, still on the North Loop Trail system. But I like the mud and the water, so I went ahead and went for it. Now, this wasn't really muddy. It was definitely deep as far as water got, and this is only one section of it. But you could feel the rocks under there. It really wasn't muddy. At no point was I actually scared about getting stuck. Now, different time of season, obviously, that may change. However, I can tell you when we were on it, there was zero concerns about getting stuck on the trail. Okay, so through the mud run, we're going to keep going. This is where we entered the North Loop trail system at. Again, we came out on the right, and from here, we're going to take the right down the road, and this is going to take us back to the shoulder we were on from the South Loop. Now, as we get back to that highway, we're going to follow the shoulder on the right again. So we're basically continuing down from the same shoulder we were on, and we're going to take this for a few minutes, and this will meet up with the South Loop Trail. One thing I do recommend on this spot is to be careful, especially if you have children that, you know, you're a little concerned, maybe they're new, or you're just kind of concerned about them being near a highway. Definitely watch them on this area, or maybe even, you know, depending on their age, drive it for them through certain sections of it, because there are spots where you actually end up on the shoulder of the highway itself. Okay, so as we go down the shoulder, again, pay attention to signs, because the South Loop trail system will just kind of come up at you. So you want to make sure you're watching the signs so you know where to cross the highway. So you cross the highway and you shoot straight down this trail, and boom, there you have it. You are right back at Trailhead 1 on the South Loop. All right, well, I hope this trail review in Pine Center, Minnesota was helpful. If so, think about smashing that thumbs up button. Otherwise, think about hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on future trail reviews, gear reviews, and other ATV related news. Thanks for watching.